Maybe he was right all along.
Good evening. Welcome into the Believe in Monsters podcast, and the podcast about the Chicago Bears, presented by the Believe Network. Big thanks to the Believe Network for putting us on. Joe Gaither, Chris Krogman, and Lucas Berry all hanging out with you guys tonight to talk some Chicago Bears football. Make sure you give us a follow at BIM_pod on the Twitter machine and at Believe in Monsters podcast on the Facebook side of things. We are here to break down an awful Sunday night game and really turn the page and move on into week number 3 for our Chicago Bears. The Bears lost 24-10, 24-7, 24-10.
24-10.
On Sunday Night Football with 2 minutes left in the game. I unfortunately said no more for me because I just couldn't take it anymore. But we will get into all things Packers and all things Houston Texans and how they relate to our Chicago Bears tonight. Before we do, though, Luke, great to see you again. We missed you last week. You feeling a little better, sir?
Yeah, finally. It's been a week of not feeling great, but I'm back with it, feeling good. How you guys doing?
I'm sad.
That was a tough game.
Yeah, definitely a tough game.
They need to stop putting it on prime time. It just sucks for Bears fans, honestly.
They like doing it. They like torturing us. My dad, who's a neutral, texted me in the middle of the game. It was still early. Bears, Packers, Lambeau at prime time. This is awesome. And I said, no, it's not. Oh, no, it's not.
I'm indifferent. It's been too long.
I've been a Bears fan since you're 1945.
Since you guys were in diapers. Or unborn, I should say.
At least just stop showing until Rodgers retires.
Why? I mean, it's the most historic, rivalry in sports. They're not going to stop that. They need to balance that out more rather than just use it as an Aaron Rodgers slurping tool.
They should give us a 13th player whenever we play them on prime time.
Maybe Chris Collinsworth could be our 13th player.
Now here's a guy.
Here's a guy who would need a wheelchair to get himself on the field. Honestly, my biggest annoyance with the announcing, and Collinsworth actually did an okay job of trying to talk about some of the positives for the Bears this time. I tried to be as objective as possible because I can't stand him. But they're so fucking repetitive. I must have heard Aaron Jones got 8 touches at least 15 times Sunday night. It's okay, we get it. They didn't get him the ball enough last week. They're getting him the ball a lot this week. This is how it always has gone. Mix it up a little bit. Talk about, Alan Lazard coming back from injury. Talk about, they talked about Jenkins all the time, but that dude fucking held a shit ton, and he tried to kick Robinson twice on one play. He kicked at his front leg and kicked at his back leg. You can't do that. That's called tripping. It's not legal. I hate this.
Yeah,
this has gone so bad for so long. I was probably 21 years old the last time it was Bears in the Bears' favor.
Yeah.
Did you hear that stat at the beginning when Rodgers took over? We were up by 20 some fucking games or 25 games in the rivalry. And he's gone something stupid 28-6 against us. It's just gross. Gross.
Yeah. It was another poorly officiated game, as always, but not that really had no difference in the outcome, but just, again, annoying to watch that the refs can keep doing this dumb stuff.
They need to get fined severely.
Then nobody would ref.
That non-touchdown, the block in the back on the punt, the holding they picked up that was bear hugging him from behind. Just unreal.
Like, what do you think they should do there? Because they got the sack, and it was more beneficial for them to take the sack and them to lose the down.
You still have to
But
throw
like,
the flag.
there's lots of penalties that get added on to plays. Like maybe like the Bears should have the opportunity to add 5 and take the penalty and take the play or whoever. If you get the sack and there's a hold, maybe you get both. Because like the offense always gets like both, right? Like if there's a personal foul on a play, they get both. They get the results of the play plus the extra 5 yards or whatever. Here's a question I have for you guys. On the Justin Fields touchdown run, that was not called a touchdown. It was a turnover on downs. Why did the Bears have to challenge that? Aren't all turnovers reviewed automatically? And we lost a challenge on that and lost a timeout. Am I misunderstanding the rule? Because I swear I've seen it where a turnover on downs was reviewed because it was a turnover.
I don't know if does a turnover on downs count the same as like a fumble or an interception?
It's a turnover.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they don't count it as that. It's all a moot point regardless. We got crushed.
Yeah, the main point is the Packers. I mean, officiating. I mean, we start with officiating because it makes us sad. But let's look in the damn mirror, and the Packers punched us in the face over and over and over again.
We did get one haymaker in, right? And then after that, it was just like we didn't know what to do.
Well, I mean, with the Packers' offensive philosophy of run off tackle, run up the middle, run in zone, run. And it was white jersey with their ass on the ground, Roquan Smith back to the air, 12 yards down the line of scrimmage. Like, they kicked our tail. And yes, I picked the Packers to win on the podcast, I picked the Bears to win on the podcast. But I was going back 3, 5, 6 weeks ago when we did our win-loss, and I'd always all year long chalked up that game to be a loss. So like I was trying to keep that in perspective as I was watching it. But it wasn't the fact that they beat us. It was the fact that they punked us the whole game. Offensively speaking, the defense got pushed down 6-7 yards of carry down the field over and over. Like Aaron Rodgers didn't even really beat us. I mean, he had a couple of really special throws like he always does. Yeah, but man, he really didn't beat us. The Packers just came out and blocked us up front, man on man, and pushed us off the ball all night long. And so that's what really pissed me off is the way that we got beat.
Looking back at some of the stuff we talked about all off season and the lack of talent on this team, 33 new players, Justin Jones being the big signing, I guess, on defense. He had some nice plays, obviously he's not a superstar run stuffer. The guy that asked to be the highest paid linebacker in football forgot to show up.
Mom, turn this episode off like last week. He played like a fucking pussy.
Well, he's not. This is the same stuff they talked about him coming out of Georgia. He's not strong. He's not big. He's fast. He's sideline to sideline fast. He's very much how, when Urlacher came into the league, they had 2 big, huge defensive tackles in Ted Williams and somebody else. I can't remember.
Ted Williams.
Yeah, that's his name, not the baseball player. I know
We had a tackle named Ted Williams.
Pretty sure that's his name. I could be wrong. Anyway.
Tank Johnson?
No. You listen, Baby Bear.
Ted Williams.
I don't know who they kept calling them, Baby Bears. But they would block the offensive lineman essentially or sustain guys up front in two gap systems, and Urlacher could run sideline to sideline until Urlacher got big enough and strong enough to fend guys off. And I don't think that'll ever be Roquan's game. He won't be he's not 6'4", 6'5". He doesn't have the body frame to put on the muscle that Urlacher did and keep that speed. So he's not going to fill this role. He's not going to become Lance Briggs overnight. I don't know. I don't know if he fits this defense. I don't know if he looked slow. He looked washed. He looked weak. Like you said, Joe, he played like a pussy.
Not only that, though, the other issue with this is that the Bears kind of compounded Roquan's lack of run fitting by signing Nicholas Morrow, who's very much the same as Roquan. Can't stop the run. So now, not only do they have one guy who plays like that, they have two. So
I miss you, Nick Witkowski and Kevin Pierre-Louis.
I mean, I don't know. I think I've kind of said it all off season that was my biggest worry with this team is that linebacking core and D-line is just not fit to stop the run, especially when you come in with a team like that who has two great running backs. Good luck. I mean, now they did hunker down. They only gave up 3 points in the second half. A lot of that was game flow and stuff as well, but, credit to the Bears for making some adjustments there. I mean, you said it, Joe. We just kind of got our butts kicked.
So it makes me worried when you look at the other two teams in the division that you haven't yet played, and the Vikings and Dalvin Cook and the Lions and DeAndre Swift. And I've always thought, well, if you put the ball in Kirk Cousins' hands, if you put the ball in Jared Goff's hands, you give your defense a great chance. But shoot, if I'm the other offensive coordinators in the division, I'm hammering the run game until the Bears can stop it. And it doesn't look like the Bears had any of the forces to stop the run.
I don't think the Vikings have that offensive line. The Lions do. But
my argument to that then is put 8 men in the box and make them quarterbacks beat you. I mean, you can't do that with Rodgers, but you can do it to Goff. I mean, the Lions' offense is actually good. My thing about the Lions is I think their defense stinks. So I think you could match whatever they score on offense, but that's a different story. To your point, though, Joe, I mean, we did the same thing to Green Bay with what they did to us. We averaged almost 9 yards a carry with Montgomery and Herbert. I mean, when Tevin Jenkins was in the damn game, Tevin Jenkins was mauling dudes. It's insane how they keep her. I just don't get why they have this weird fixation with Lucas Patrick. I get they want to get him reps, but just either wait till he's healthy or put him somewhere else. Because
I think it's hilarious how much we're trashing this dude when before he ever saw the field, he was the best offensive lineman we had. I mean, not us specifically, but Bears fans in general.
Are you talking about Jenkins?
No, Patrick.
Yeah.
Everybody. I mean, I think stoked to get Patrick and thought he'd be a better guard than center, actually, and now he's not. I mean, right. And maybe I'm taking it wrong. Are you speaking like has he been bad, or do you think Jenkins has just been better?
I think Jenkins has been the Bears' best lineman, at least in run blocking. I mean,
but between those guys, would you give Patrick a bad grade as overall, or do you think Jenkins has just been the better player?
I think Patrick is a better pass blocker for sure. I think I could see that. So I don't know. I don't think Patrick has been bad, to answer your question. I don't think Mustafa has been bad either, but there has, I saw him get absolutely mauled a few times last game. I don't know. The Bears definitely have something with the run game, but it's frustrating because we don't care about the run game. We don't really care about how many wins we get this year. We want to see Justin Fields' development. So it's like, yeah, okay, great. We have a good run game. Could win us 6 games this year. But do we have a quarterback? What do you guys say? I'm starting to get worried. I don't know, all-time confident that there's no way Fields will be bad. Now the seeds of doubt are creeping in my head.
Well, you can't let that happen with 2 games into a new offense.
I'm
with-
not
with
full on
minimal-
panic, but I think there is definitely reason for some concern.
Well, I'm still in the patient boat because we're still learning the offense, and we've talked about it all off season. Who are the wide receivers that'll step up? And yes, you look at the film and you can see, ooh, this guy's open. Ooh, that guy got open. And Fields just didn't pull the trigger for whatever reason. I'm not sure if it was a confidence issue or a lack of vision issue or what it is quite yet. I don't know. The interception at the end of the game to Jair Alexander was kind of a bad interception, but I also kind of was like, "Fuck it!" At the end of the game, at that
Yeah,
time
I
of
mean,
the game,
I don't even really care about that. It's just, I don't know.
I'll stick my neck out. I am very concerned.
Yeah,
I'm
he
very
just
concerned.
looks. He looks like
he looks so uncomfortable.
in the pocket specifically.
Even okay, we got him the rollout. He had nobody near him, and he
He
just
took one shot.
chucked it, and it looked like a Trubisky throw. It looked like he was 15 yards past the guy. Like there was no accuracy on it. Didn't give him a fighting chance to make the play. Just hucked it like we were playing 3 flies up. Like I could have made that fucking throw. Maybe not as far, but Jesus, dude. Like that was not good at all. And we've seen him make some great downfield throws. And I don't understand why it looks so shitty. And I'm hoping that it's just that the offensive changeover is going to take a while. We're doing a lot of things at the same time. They changed his mechanics, they changed his footwork, and it's a new offense, new coaching staff, almost all new weapons. So I've told you, Luke, privately multiple times, I want to give it until at least week 6 before I completely judge it. But right now, it looks bad. He looks bad.
would have helped
Yeah.
if your boy Komet would have caught a pass that hit him in the fucking hands.
That was
One fucking whoop-de-doo. Like 10% of the fucking throws. Big deal. Mooney's gotten 2 targets in fucking in 2 weeks.
Mooney can't get open.
Okay, it would help if Darnell Mooney could get open, being the de facto number 1.
Yeah, he ain't no number 1. I'll tell you that.
Well, plenty of
he
people,
he
good.
He looks like the Bears' best receiver right now.
Yes.
Plenty of good receivers this week got hit in the hands and dropped it.
I'll tell
Did you
what,
watch that Vikings game? Good God, dude. They couldn't catch it. They couldn't catch a cold. Holy shit.
That's a mental thing going back to Philly for them, I think. There was no way they were going there and winning after getting embarrassed in that championship game by Foles.
They could not catch shit. Like they had so many passes dropped. I have Cousins as a fantasy quarterback in like the last round of the draft, and I was
They should have had 2 more touchdowns. I mean, Irv Smith dropped one, and
oh my God,
Jefferson was running the wrong route. It was like circus.
ran behind one of the best corners in the league. That was smart.
But back
anyway,
to our Fields conversation, Chris. I agree with you. He doesn't look good. And there's something I talked to you about was they need to get him in a rhythm. To me, it sounds like a stupid excuse, but I feel like they're not giving him any easy throws. It was like in that first drive when they were running, the first pass play they ran was that flea flicker, like a 30-yard pass. So it was like, okay, interesting. You're running, you're doing all this, but like your first pass is downfield for 30, like a home run ball.
Right.
Where's the quick slants? Where's the underneath route and stuff? Like, I feel like we don't, at least I haven't seen it. And it's stuff we got mad at Nagy for doing too much, but it's like, okay, well, you need some of that in your offense. And for me, I think they need to simplify Fields to 2 reads and run. Like, I feel like he doesn't utilize his legs properly for how athletic he is. Like, take a 3-step drop. If your read's not there, just fucking run. What he does is he takes a 3-step drop, holds it for 3.5 seconds, runs, collapses the pocket on himself, and then runs into the back of his guy and gets sacked for 8-yard loss.
Or he runs straight sideways and somewhat backwards because
that's what I mean. So
athletic. Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like when I was just watching the Texans game, what they do for Davis, like Davis Mills gets rid of the ball so fast, but they don't run anything crazy. Like they're running the easiest routes, and it's just 1, 2, 3, throw, run, check down, whatever. I don't know. I feel like every play they're trying to make a home run ball for Fields. It's just they need to get him going first before
I agree. I completely agree. I completely agree with the
so that falls on Getsy, which I don't. And again, we talk about rolling them out. I counted 3 rollouts, 2 rollouts total they had last game. 1 on the misplay you counted, and then the touchdown run he had were the only 2 rollouts he had all game. And then he had the air guitar fake where he tried to, where Preston Smith just read the play the whole way. But they weren't rolling him out, which is what he does best. I mean, I feel like when you're running that well, you should be rolling out almost half his pass plays should be rollouts.
It's upsetting. All the good vibes that I felt after week 1, I feel bad after week 2.
I mean, I don't feel bad. I mean, it sucks to lose to the Packers. They were in that game kind of more than I thought they could have lost by a shit ton more. The running game was very disheartening. Kyler Gordon getting worked like a rookie was pretty disappointing, but it's going to happen. We'll see how he bounces back. That's what this season is about for me, is how are guys going to learn from what happened and bounce back. And yes, it is Fields' development, but like others have said, man, you got to do things to know where you're at the end of. If we get to the end of this year and they're still like, I don't know about Fields because we only threw it 11 times a game, that's not going to be good. That's not going to be good.
I think that's a good kind of point about Kyler Gordon as well. If you remember last year, the Packers, when they moved Adams to the slot, they absolutely abused Jalen Johnson there. And it was like, okay, he can't play slot. So you move him around and maybe you figure out, yeah, Kyler Gordon's a great player, but maybe he's better suited outside. Because when he was outside, I think he played a lot better. When he was inside, he had a lot of trouble.
Well, somebody brought it up on Twitter, like maybe they're just doing too much for him. He's a rookie.
They definitely are. I mean,
one position, do one position at a time.
Not only that, they have him. They kind of have him in the box a lot too, almost as like a third linebacker. Like he's like a madman against the run. It's like, yeah, there's way too much on his plate. I think it's kind of obvious. I don't know. I think the defense. I'm not worried about the defense. I think they'll be fine. They need to clean up their tackling, but
that's something I did not think I'd see against or from an Eberflus team, is just not tackling like they have been.
Surprisingly, I feel like the guy that was one of their better tacklers was Eddie Jackson. I feel like
right. He got challenged and got told. Jalen Johnson keeps trying to like shoulder check people. I mean, Christian Watson pretty much ran him over.
I don't. They ruled that a catch against him. I don't know how that was credited to Jalen Johnson, but
it was a thrown behind. Wasn't it thrown behind the line? I mean,
it was like
anything thrown behind the line or within a yard of the line should not be counted against any defensive player.
Well, anyway, that was his only target or his only reception given up all year. So,
yeah, I mean, do they? I mean, I guess they don't want to move Vildor back to the slot, or never really have. And then they got rid of Thomas Graham, or let him get gone. Duke Shelley got cut, so now they're down to like that.
I think they cut Tavin Young too.
Tavin Young, yeah, is he gone?
I think he got released.
That other guy. Now they what are they down to? That like Jay, the other Johnson, Jalen Johnson, or whatever the other
Lamar Jackson.
No, there's another one. What's that other kid's name?
Was it Caleb Johnson that got cut?
No. 1 second.
Currently, the Bears depth chart stands.
Jalen
Jalen
Jones. Jalen Jones is the guy I'm thinking of. He's not good. Or I mean, I guess Josh Blackwell, but I don't think he plays slot. Or Lamar Jackson, like you said, Luke. Vildor's listed as a nickelback on one of these sites, but I don't think he is. I don't understand some of the defensive line rotations. I mean, Armin Watts only had less than 40% of snaps again.
I didn't see Dominique Robinson that much this game.
No, let's see here. I just had snap count up. Give me a second. Dominique Robinson had 21 snaps, 31% of the snaps.
Travis Gibson was playing pretty well.
He only had 34% of the snaps. It was It was Quinn and Muhammad.
I think Muhammad. I think Muhammad's been not great since he's been here.
I feel like he doesn't get pressure. I feel like he's okay against the run, but he just doesn't. He doesn't get very good pressure. I haven't really paid attention to how he sets the edge, though.
I would like to see them keep giving Gibson and Robinson reps.
Yeah,
whenever Gibson plays, I feel like he makes a play. I just keep that guy on the damn field.
I agree. Him and Robinson should rotate and get them both on the field and give Quinn a drive off. You know.
I don't know if you guys saw, but Albert Breer said that his player most likely to be traded this year is Robert Quinn. So take that for whatever it's worth.
Trade him for a third-round pick, and let's.
They can get a third-round pick at the deadline.
Keep the tank
No
going.
way.
Goodbye.
No way. There's no way they get a third-round pick for that guy.
I think if he racks up 7-8 sacks, definitely get a third.
I mean, I'm always wrong on trade value, so don't listen to me. They'll probably get a fucking first for him. What do I know? Don't listen to me. I'm just some asshole on a podcast.
No, I was just being hopeful. Third is probably way too high, but being hopeful.
I think a desperate Super Bowl contender would definitely give that to you if they have an injury.
Putting it out there into the ether.
All right, boys. So any other dead horses we want to beat on this Packers game?
The other thing I really like just this week is a get right week to me. They need to fix the offense. We need to see immediate improvement out of Fields. And Getsy needs to just let him throw the ball, I think, going into this. I mean, just they go hand in hand. I think last week's game and this one coming up.
I feel like the offense isn't – like the running game isn't running off of – or the passing game isn't running off of the running game. It's like the running game that's working well is under shotgun and stretching and letting Montgomery and Herbert find lanes, cut back, and then the passing game off of that is shotgun and fucking play action out of shotgun. That's, to me, that doesn't make sense. I would think you would want to stay under center and either do a 3 to 5, 7 straight drop back to straight drop back pass or play action off of that zone run that they ran. Like, I just looks like two completely different offenses to me.
Yeah.
Like the drive where they march 12 plays down the field, they don't throw it one time. And then the next drive, it's like all shotgun and doing other weird shit. And I'm not saying you can't mix those plays in, but it seems like that was like, I literally feel like it's two completely different offenses and that doesn't look like the same thing going on. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I agree with you. It's just, like I said, I don't fully understand what they're trying to accomplish in the pass game. It just doesn't fully compute to me that they're not just like, where are the layup throws? Where are these easy, like, I feel like you're saying, Chris, easy passes off the run game should be there first before you start trying to beat them deep.
Well, like you said, Lucas, with the Packers offense is like, where are these slants? Where are the floods? Where just like Mooney runs fast. Let him run fast horizontally across the field and lose his guy in the muck.
That's the other thing is like the only force play to Mooney is that stupid orb motion that the Packers do, and you knew exactly where the ball was going. Like the one play that was an easy throw, everyone and their grandma knew was going right to Mooney on that stupid bubble screen that the Packers sniffed out immediately.
So
Well,
they should fake that and run it backside to it, either Montgomery or Komet or
Well,
something. And run a different screen.
That's what I mean.
Right.
This week, I mean, you know, I don't know. Like I said, it's a get right week. The Texans don't really have a pass rush. Just let 5 protect. Put Komet in. Let him run routes. If Fields is under pressure, let him evade it himself and figure it out. Just stop with this 6-man protection. Let these guys loose a little bit this week.
Joe, what were you saying, man? We kind of steamrolled you there.
no, you're fine. But like you talk about the play that Preston Smith sniffed out really well. You had a flood coming across from right to left, and you had almost everybody breaking open. But damn, Preston Smith was right in Justin Fields' face.
Talk about the guitar fake.
Yeah, and exactly what you were saying, Chris, as far as the offenses look like the philosophies look way too different from, hey, we're running the ball, we're under center, we're pounding you, we're getting out wide zones and things like that. And then, all right, now we're in shotgun, we're going to try to throw the ball. There's not really like this mesh, in my opinion, of what we're doing so far. And maybe that's going to come. Hopefully it's going to come. Maybe it's going to come a little later as you keep getting plays on tape, but you got to be running plays. You got to be finding some sort of offensive continuity. Did I see that did we run 46 offensive plays? Is that what I saw?
Yeah, something like that.
Right. And I'm pretty sure the stat that I saw was that the Dolphins and another team, one of the teams that had a big comeback this past week, ran like 40-something plays in the second halves of their game. We're not running enough plays to get to put continuity, to mix concepts up, to like mold it all together. And so you kind of just got to boil it down to what's working until you can get to the point where, okay, we're moving the football at a consistent rate and we're running plays, and now we can kind of mix some things up against the defense.
Well, Joe, I was just going to say, it goes back to my point of like, where are these easy passes? Like, you can't just go three and out 3 times in a row. Like, maybe if you throw a 5-yard out 4 times in a row, maybe if you throw a 5-yard out or something simple, the guy breaks it, gets a first down, you just hit a few of those, it sets up other plays. But when you're run, play action and trying to huck it deep, what is that accomplishing? It's like, it's obvious when they're passing and obvious when they're running. And teams, frankly, once you get ahead, they don't care. They're going to just let you run on them. You're not going to come back doing that. So
they could have. I mean, they still had enough time. There was still about 10 minutes left when Fields didn't get that touchdown.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're right, Luke. You have a good point. And honestly, like, kind of mixing what you guys both just said, Joe, you can't run more than 45 plays if you're getting 4 straight 3 and outs, and your defense can't stop shit. There's just not enough time in the game. And I don't really mind the balance or lack thereof if the passing game is feeding off of the running game. Like, your drives look completely fucking different. And so do run it, 12 times in a fucking drive, but throw it 3 times, or run it 9 times and throw it 3 times. I don't care. Just mix it in a little bit, but make it look the same. Like, the reason the Rams offense looks so good is because everything looks the fucking same. Everything looks identical. They line up in that jam little fucking 4 wide receiver look, and they run 700 different plays out of that one set. Like, we have like 6 or 10 different sets, and we're running different plays each time. And I don't even care if you want to run different sets and run the same play types. It doesn't look the same. It looks like a fucking shit show every time. And maybe I'm talking out of my ass, and I haven't really watched it that much, but to me it looks completely like you're doing 2 different things and trying to make it work together, and it's never going to work that way. But that's just my high school level football take.
I mean, I agree with you, and I think we really saw that take effect basically after the Bears opening scoring drive. I mean, that second drive, they came out and tried to run these weird pass. Like, they should have came out running the ball hard again and then, built, like you said, build off of that. But they came out in shotgun trying to throw 3 times, and it was like,
Make
You
them stop
literally-
you. Make
you
them
literally
stop.
just
Yes.
abandoned what was working. And
Yeah, just make them stop you. Like I never thought I'd see Getsy just abandon the run like that,
Make them
especially
adjust.
after week 1.
dude, they took Montgomery didn't get a touch after that first drive for like 3 or 4 more drives.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was by far the
I don't
best offensive player. I mean,
122 and a touch, and like half of that came up, and that was only 15 touches.
dude, they ran the ball in 3rd and 20 and he got a first down.
No, that was 2nd and 20. Either way, it doesn't matter. He got a first down on just a monster run. Like what? Like I think it was Walter Payton or Jarrett Payton that was like saying he mixed every type of move a running back has into one play. Like he stiff armed, he juked, he jump stepped, he spun. Like it was fluid as fuck. Like he's incredible. It's unfortunate he's not. I wish he was like 0.2 of a second faster, and he would just be like an all-time running back. He's so fun to watch when he. I mean, he is the offensive hits philosophy in a nutshell. He runs so hard.
Be a captain.
I love watching him.
He's fun. I like him a lot, and I wish they would get him the ball in space more as well.
Dude, again, that goes back easy passes. Why don't we ever throw a Texas route to our running back? Go play action, let him run up the middle, and just give him a little
wheel route up the sideline, like clear that flood out and throw weak side to Moon or to Montgomery. I
like my chances with Montgomery versus corner 1-on-1.
I like him versus a linebacker in space. He'll juke a linebacker out of his shoes or run a safety over. He made Savage and Amos look stupid in one play. And those are both good safeties.
Amos sucked.
Let's bury this game in the past now. Let's talk about the Texans here. I think the Texans are basically the Bears of the AFC.
Lovie.
They'll play tough. I think the Bears have a lot more talent than them, but it's going to be similar type coaching. They're just gonna try and grind you out, make you make a mistake, and win the game.
Are the Bears going to cheer for Lovie when they introduce him?
They should.
They should. You're right. Check this out, Luke. Both the Bears and the Texans are averaging 14.5 points a game. Both the Bears and the Texans, the Texans are allowing 18 points a game, whereas the Bears are allowing 18.5 points per game. You talk about being the Bears of the AFC. Houston is averaging 287 per game in 2 games, and the Bears at 235. Now, granted, these are just 2-game stats, but they are right in line with one another. So interesting for sure. You're going to have to go ahead.
I was just going to say, let's peel it back here. So they kind of beat the piss out of the Colts week 1, but the Colts are also not as good as anyone thinks. I think the Colts are actually bad. The Colts are a bad team, and they blew a huge lead. They were up 23-0, and they ended up tying.
They lost their best coach.
And then last week they played the Broncos tough for a while, and ended up losing that game in a close one. But like I said, I just watched that game, and the Broncos really just let them hang around. They should have demolished them. They don't have much of a pass rush. Their secondary is pretty good. I mean, they have Stigley, but he got picked on a little bit last week. They kind of targeted him like the Packers targeted Gordon. He had a few penalties, got beat a few times. And I don't know. They just play this generous Tampa 2 where their linebackers were all three drop back in coverage. And they give you the underneath all day. It should be a huge Cole Kmet game in theory. The Bears should be running a ton of floods. They should be running a lot of just short underneath stuff, quick 3-step drop, get the ball out of your hands, Mooney in space. We'll see if they actually do that, but this is definitely a week to get the quick passing game going. much like the Bears, they're going to be bend but don't break. So they'll give you all that stuff underneath, and they're susceptible to the run too.
You got to get after Davis Mills when you get him into third and passing situations.
The thing I noticed about Mills just watching that is he gets the ball out quick. He makes his decision fast, and he's actually surprisingly athletic. He will run a little bit if he sees a lane, and he's not terribly slow, but he's just a very fast decision maker. So I don't know if he's really the guy you'll sack a bunch of times, but he's definitely the type of guy that's, I mean, keep it all in front of you. Don't let him beat you deep, and you'll be fine. I don't know. I think the Bears, in theory, at home, coming off that loss, I think they should beat the piss out of the Texans.
I agree. You stick Jalen Johnson on Brandon Cooks,
and he's their only player.
Right. He should be pretty much fine across the board in the passing game. You just got to decide. You just got to Roquan. You have to make the decision that you're going to fucking man up and play the run.
Yeah, no, I mean this is really a week where outside of Cooks they don't have many weapons. I mean, in theory, Eberflus could play a really aggressive style and actually put 7 or 8 in the box all game and just dare them to throw it. And trust that Jalen and Eddie and Brisker will make a play on the backside.
How long until we see our Wisconsin man, Jack Sanborn, if these linebackers still suck dick?
I don't think they would bench Roquan. I think they would move Roquan to Mike before they move. I don't know. I think they would move Roquan to Mike before they sub him out. They made the dude a captain. There's no way they'll bench him.
I'm not talking really bench him, but I mean, I just think that is Sanborn the type of linebacker that can be a thumper? Because that's what you're missing right now.
Put him at Mike instead of Morrow.
Sure.
What
Go
do you
out
guys
there
make?
and get Rodrigo from Detroit.
What do you guys make of this Texans game? I don't know if you guys are higher on them than I am. I know they'll play it tough, but I just think they stink.
There's no way you should lose this game. I mean, maybe I've got my Bears orange glasses on, but there's no way you should lose this game. If you're the team that you think you are, you have to beat the bad teams. You have to. Okay, you lost to the Packers, and maybe it just hurts a lot bit more because they're a good squad. They're our rival. But, we weren't supposed to beat them. We weren't. I think the three of us are just pissed because of the way we lost. But you weren't supposed to win that game. This is the game you're supposed to win. You're favored for the first time this year for the people in the desert. You're favored. You're playing at home. You're coming off a loss. You've done some good things through 2 weeks, but obviously last week just wasn't good enough. Okay, you bring in Lovie Smith's 0-1 team, and you can't let this team get out of Chicago with a win. You have to beat them, and you can beat them. It's not asking a lot to beat them, to me. Bro,
What do you think, Chris?
I don't hate the Texans. I don't hate Lovie. I think they had a good defense last year. I think that they have some guy Davis Mills, allowed them to move on from Watson. I think they probably were anyway, but I think Mills made it a lot more comfortable. I mean, he's not terrible. Brandon Cooks is dangerous. They don't have a whole lot else. I mean, they got that rookie running back Damian Pierce, and they got Rex Burkhead back there. But yeah, I just you should definitely beat this team. Joe, you said if you're the team you think you are, which I think it's more in line of if this is the team that any Bears fans think they are, whether that's over, under 6.5 wins. This is a team you have to get one of those wins against, right? Beating bad teams, like you said, teams that you think are worse than you are. As far as like power rankings and things like that go, I'm gonna check where these two teams are because the Bears should be top 10. No, I'm just kidding.
I think the
But we're
Texans
not.
might be 31 or 32.
So Bears are 25th, previous rank 32. So that's actually it's not bad. Lions 5, Cowboys 27, Texans 28. Yeah, they should beat this team. They should, especially we're at home, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got the blue jerseys, which is I don't care what you say, it's the best jersey there is. I don't see why they don't win this game. I mean, it's a 40.5 over under for all you gambling fools out there. 18 each, Joe, is 36.5, 37. Man, Bears need a like Lucas said, like a show out game on offense. Something positive needs to happen. Komet need to
If
show
you don't turn the ball over and you chuck it underneath and you run the ball well and you take a couple of shots deep, you don't have to ask too much from Justin Fields to keep the offense rolling. To y'all's point earlier in the podcast, you just got to ask him to do what he can, to hit a 6-yard pass, to hit a 5-yard slant, keep the chains moving, and really play consistent offense.
That's what I mean. That and just if it's not there after a couple seconds, just run. Like I just.
So it's been 2 weeks, and it's hard to judge these guys much off the things we've seen. Byron Pringle, do you guys think that he is still kind of getting in, like similar to Lucas Patrick, getting into game shape? Because he's only out there for 30. He was 17% of snaps in week 1, 34% in week 2, so doubled his snap count. ESB is the clear 2 at 76 and 71%. I thought ESB had a couple of great plays, great block, like that block he threw on one of Montgomery's first runs. Obviously, he had the curl route gone go where he threw his hands up and Fields didn't see him or whatever. Looking back at some of the comments from like Adam Johns said he missed him, and they talked to ESB about it, and he said that is by design. They call it a mailbox play, like basically throw your hands up, throw it to like a flag, like a mailbox flag. And he said that was the very first time in all of training camp, OTAs, that at all that this had happened. So we're gonna let that one pass. But he did get wide the fuck open. He did beat his guy. So I don't hate St. Brown. I mean, it's not like he's looked stupid. He hasn't dropped a lot of.
He's been the Bears' best receiver so far.
Right. So
Pringle. Can I give my guess on Pringle?
I think Fields trusts him a lot too.
Agreed. Yeah, they have
especially on that comeback flea flicker. Like ESB wasn't the first read. It was Mooney who ended up being open, but he was looking at ESB the whole time, and he knew right on his break he just threw it.
Well, ESB is a delicious beer, so we're gonna call him Extra Special Brown now. So
my guess on Pringle, bad practice player, lazy.
I don't think they've run enough pass plays for me to even comment on really anyone outside of ESB.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as Luke, and this is kind of for me. This is week 3 for both Patrick and Pringle. You've had your time to get ready. Michael Gus, we've had him on the show, three times now. If you don't follow him on Twitter, you should. Breaks down the game after every game. He's talked about how Mustapher has been fine this year. Mustafa's actually gotten bigger. He's gotten stronger. He's playing with more of an attitude. He's not letting himself get pushed around as much. So Lucas Patrick, man, he could be the odd man out here if they decide Jenkins is the full-time good, because you can't keep fucking doing this. If this isn't to like gear Patrick up to start at center, then there's no reason to continue this rotation shit after 2 weeks. I mean, enough is enough. And then for Pringle, you better be in shape now. And Joe, if you're right and he's a bad practice player, that's not going to fly on this roster. We already know that.
I don't know. These coaches aren't dumb. They realize they need to throw the ball more and do all the things we're talking about, or at least I hope they understand that. And if they don't, God help us. I think this Sunday is going to be different. I don't know. I just have a feeling we're going to beat the piss out of the Texans. I have a feeling Eberflus is going to lay into them this week. Say what you will about Fields. I feel like the guy always bounces back well after a bad performance. Every time he has a bad game, he always comes back and plays really well. I don't know. I have a feeling we're going to just beat the absolute piss out of the Texans. Call me a homer. Call me what you will. I haven't picked the Bears to win yet, but I just have a feeling we are going to fucking dominate them on Sunday.
28-13.
28-13. Are we doing this already? We're here.
I don't know. That's just I'm responding to Lucas. We're going to dominate.
I mean,
I was just talking
minutes
about
on the Packers, and we spent 15 minutes on the upcoming game. That's fine. I don't care. Like I said, I don't mind a bad split. Run the ball 36 times and throw it 15 times. I don't care. Just make it look the same. Make me feel like I'm.
You guys think they'll come out firing right away? Do you think they'll dial one up right away?
They need to fucking run the ball right away, and then dial one up.
They
need to dial some short ones up.
Ride Demo. And
dial up some QB runs too. Like, why design some QB runs for Fields up the damn?
How about not on a shotgun and 4th and goal from the one though?
I know that there's a hard distinction between play action pass and RPO, but I don't see Fields in pistol much and them running RPO. Right. Am I tripping?
No, they don't. They haven't done it much yet.
So another thing is I'd love to see some triple option essentially where Fields can hand it off, run it himself, or throw it like an easy dump off pass. Make the defender make a decision, and if he chooses to stay with the receiver, Fields can run. If he chooses to come down on Fields, he throws it over his head, and whoever is off and running. Run that fucking. I want to see outside zone 5 times in a row, and then 3 times in a row, I want to see some sort of, play action Fields rollout, and either he takes off or there's a flood on his side or he's chucking it deep. That's the only 2 designs I even want to see.
They need to run, to your point, they need to run more read option off the outside zone. Or Fields rides the mesh point with Montgomery, makes a decision. Got the line all moving one way. Fields tucks in and runs some of those times to keep the defense on their heels.
Well, like Michael was saying off of his thread that we talked about, when they've had to keep 6.5 guys, 7 guys into block, there's only so much they can do with route combinations.
Right.
There are 2-3 guys that can run a route. But we've faced 2 very good pass rushes, 2 very good defenses. So
that's what I'm saying. This week there's no real threat of a pass rush. Leave it 5-on-5. See what happens and get commit on routes. And like I said, those 5-yard underneath routes, they're going to give you those all day. All day.
All day, baby.
Bend but don't break. I don't know. I think we can do some damage this week. I hope so. I really do.
Hit those cover 2 seams, Justin. He's going to be running cover 2.
I don't know. Do you guys see a big bounce back game from Fields?
Yes, but I'm a believer.
No.
Just like I was in the last quarterback.
You don't think so, Chris?
No. Define that for me.
7 touchdowns. 5
no. Do you think he'll throw for over 200 yards this game?
No.
I do.
But I think he'll be efficient. I think we'll move the football.
I think that's I would not define that as a big bounce back game, but I think that is very much accomplishable. Yeah. I think he should throw for 250 and 2 touchdowns, and Montgomery should have 150 and a touchdown, 400 total yards and 3 touchdowns.
That's a bounce back game.
Yeah.
400 total yards. I don't even know how many times we did that under Nagy.
400 total yards?
Dude,
That's a lot.
that is a lot of yards.
That feels like
most
standard.
teams-
Feels like
for most
standard
teams.
NFL game.
Yeah, for
I would
most teams, not for the
say-
Bears.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was feeling like right in the 183, 188 passing range. But two touchdowns. I just feel like he's gonna move the football. Like Lucas said, we're gonna move it down the field, take what the defense gives you. Well, you know, the old Coach Saban, you can't go broke taking a profit. Take the 4 yards, take the 6 yards.
We will. This will be. I think Mooney will have a good game, though. I do think they'll connect on a deep one. I think he'll get Stigley deep.
I can't buy into anything. Like I said, he should. Like 2 touchdowns doesn't feel that hard to me. They've had 2 touchdowns in the first game. It's the yardage that's going to be the complication.
I don't know. I think they're going to make a concerted effort to pass more this game. Way more.
I mean, they've said it, and I think you would have seen that out of Nagy, but I don't know if you'll see that out of Eberflus and Getzy. I don't think they're going to be that kind of coaching staff. Like just like a show me such coaching staff, like, oh, just do what the media says or do like what we said we needed to do more of. That just doesn't feel like them.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. I think they probably also realized that throwing whatever it was, dropping back 15 times is just not good. Not good.
No. And it can still be both. I just don't think we'll see, like, let's say they're running it 70% of the time and they're throwing it 30% of the time. I could see like a 60-40 or a 55-45, but I don't think we'll see like a swing the other way where it's 60% passing and 40%.
Oh, no. I don't think that. I think they'll at least get Fields 20. I'm going to say they'll at least get him 25 passes this game, though.
How many total plays would you say? What do you think the average NFL offense runs?
I think it's like 60 is what people were saying, generally 60 to 65.
All right, so middle of the pack is 63.
Yeah.
That's 15. Number 1 is Cincinnati at 80. Number 2 is the Jets at 73. Bottom of the barrel. Who do you think is bottom of the barrel?
Bears.
No.
Houston.
There it goes. Nope. No, Houston's middle of the pack. They're 63. Bears are 31st at 48.5, and Seattle is 48.
Makes sense.
Fucking Baltimore is 53.5, though, and they win. They just get huge plays or lots and lots and lots of runs.
I was going to say they have big play merchants all over.
Kansas City's only 23rd at 60, but again, they win big plays. They have huge plays, so they don't need a lot of plays. Who would your model what would your model be? What team would you yeah.
The Bills.
Well, don't pipe dream this. I'm saying with the talent we have, like what could we be? Green Bay? I don't disagree. Yeah, that's about the same level of weapons overall, I would say. I don't
think running backs, decent receivers, not great.
Yeah. Obviously, the quarterback is not a Hall of Famer.
But you have
I guess. Yeah. I would say but man, oof, man.
God, you really are jumping off the wagon.
I'm not off the wagon, man. I'm just a lot more cautious, dude.
You're just looking out the back of the wagon or waiting. Can I jump here? Is it safe?
I'm pretty sure I wasn't the one who put Bryce Young in the chat.
You're right. You weren't. Not me either. Let that record be known.
Just
I wouldn't be
saying.
upset about it.
I'm just more cautious, brother. I was so defensive of Trubisky for a while. And
Not like me.
now I just blame everybody immediately. It's everybody's fault. Getsy sucks. Fucking Eberflus can't run a team. Fucking Field sucks. Like everybody sucks, dude, until proven otherwise.
Buckle up and ride with us.
Seeing Jalen Hurts gives me a lot of hope for Fields.
Did you see Dan? Did you see Dan Durkin's fun with numbers tweet today?
Yeah, how Allen and Fields had the same numbers in their first 13 games, basically.
Well, yeah, except Josh threw like 50 more times, but that's beside the point. But yeah, essentially.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
all right.
the physical part of the game is there. It's the mental aspect, which is almost like deja vu, because that's what Trubisky struggled with as well.
Did you say homos like deja vu? What?
I said the mental aspect of it is what Trubisky struggled with as well.
Oh. All right, Joe. You said what? 28-13?
Yeah, why not? Homer.
24-14 Bears.
24-14. That puts us on the under. Bears are favored by 3 with a total.
What did you say it was? 40 and a half?
40
Cover.
So Bears are favored by 3, so that's 20, like basically 25, 22, 20. No, that's not right. It's like 21-18. All right, I'll go 24-17 Bears.
You heard it here first. Bears victory. We guarantee it.
For your money back.
I'm putting the stamp on it. That's a guarantee.
Follow the podcast. Listen, rate, review, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Listen to us yell at everybody. Fuck this shit. Sing it, Joe.
Buckle up, Oakman. The field bandwagon is alive and well. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Make every play clear the way to victory. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Put up a fight with the might so fearlessly. We'll never forget the way you thrilled the nation. With your T formation, bear down, Chicago Bears. And let them know why you're wearing the crown. You're the pride and joy of Illinois, Chicago Bears. Bear down.